Hey everybody. So I've been on a bit of a home automation obsession lately. Gone down the rabbit hole and basically automating everything. So the reason why I have you looking at my pool pump right now is I figured let me automate this thing. This is a Pentair Superflo VS. It's not one of those like super fancy pumps, but it's a variable speed and it does have a communication port on the side. I don't know if you can see that, but it's right there. So I figure let's see if we can automate the running of this pump and also the chlorinator, which is one of those like devices that extracts chlorine from salt in the water and sanitizes the water. That's the salt cell there. So this is one of those pumps that's digitally controlled. This is I think a 2016 model. So it's getting up there in age, but it still works fine. Haven't touched the thing at all other than just cleaning it out once in a while. So high-level goals of this project, I want to be able to control this thing from my cell phone so I don't have to rely on the built-in timer. Over the years, the battery internally has died, so anytime we lose power, it loses the clock. I have to come out and set it. It runs at odd times. So I want to be able to control this from Home Assistant from my phone. And let's see what else we can do. All right, well, this video might end up being a YouTube short because this was super easy to do. All the parts that you see here, except for this cable, were purchased on Amazon. This enclosure is an outdoor rated, just like one of those like DIY hobby enclosures. It does have a rubber seal or gasket around the door to prevent water from coming in. So really what I did is we have incoming power on this cable here, just plugged into 120 volts. This is going into a 12 volt power supply. This is by Manual, which is a pretty reputable brand. This feeds 12 volts to this board right here. Again, links to all this stuff in the description. This board has 4 relays. So power comes in here, and this relay right here is used to turn on the chlorinator. This is used to do pump speed 1, speed 2, speed 3. I don't use quick clean on the Pentair Superflo VS, so I'm just going to repurpose that last relay, the 4th relay, to run the chlorinator. So what I can do, I'll give you a quick demonstration. This is a 10 amp circuit breaker right here just to protect these relays because these relays are only rated for 10 amps. And I did test the chlorinator. That draws about 2, so we should be fine there. So I was able to get this spun up in Home Assistant pretty easily. I'll give you all the details down below. So here on my phone, that's speed 1. I'm going to toggle speed 2 and notice that the chlorinator stays on. Speed 2 is on. We'll go to speed 3 and notice that speed 3 is on. And also in here, I did some work in Excel and with some pressure gauges that I covered in another video that will allow you to figure out or calculate how much water has flowed through the pump today and also the energy used at the bottom. This is calculated, not measured. I want to emphasize that. So you can look at the pump graphs to figure out how much the pump is flowing at any given speed by measuring the total dynamic head, which again, I covered in another video. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. So I have a mathematical relationship derived between pool speed, flow, and energy use. So again, not something that's absolutely required, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to do. And this outlet down here, in case I didn't mention, is to run the chlorinator. So there's a wire that'll come up through the bottom, plug in here, and that'll run the chlorinator. So pretty easy to do. The most expensive single component I think was this cable. I want to say it was 60 or 70 bucks. This enclosure was pretty close to that as well. So if you know any cheaper ones, all yours. This board was maybe about 30 or so. I think this power supply was maybe 10 or 15 bucks. I think this was 5 or 6. There's a little DIN rail there. Looks like this stuff. It just allows you to mount these DIN devices. Could have also gone with a smaller enclosure to save some space and some money, but I don't know. I kind of like to have a little bit more space. So I did actually test this out. It did seem to work just fine. Let me get this mounted to the wall and I'll show it to you in action. Actually, before I do that, a couple other minor details. Did also have to buy this barrel connector here to run from the power supply to the board. And as far as how it's wired, the pump itself supplies a 5 volt low amperage signal on this red wire that's coming from the cable. You can kind of see it down here. So I basically am carrying that red wire to this terminal, to this terminal, to this terminal. That's power supplied to these relays. And then speed 1 is white, speed 2 is blue, speed 3 is orange, and the extra wires I just have wrapped up around the cable down here. So these relays are normally open, so when this light comes on, or when this relay's contacts are closed, it jumps 5 volts coming in from the red wire to this white wire. So that's speed 1. And again, when speed 2 is called for, it jumps 5 volts from the red wire over to this blue wire. And again, speed 3 is 5 volts to this orange wire. So pretty simple. I mean, if I had to do this again, I could probably wire this together in 10 minutes. Another little minor piece is the holes, the spacing of the holes on this printed circuit board do not line up with the holes of this, this grid in the back that comes with the box. So I 3D printed this white adapter plate here, and I can give you links to all that stuff too if you want to 3D print yours. This board does have an Espressif ESP32C6. It does have built-in Wi-Fi, and I think Zigbee, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Matter and Thread as well. So I think I'll be okay with just Wi-Fi, but I don't think this setup works yet with Zigbee or Thread. I just don't think it's supported in ESPHome, which is what we use to integrate with Home Assistant. So that might be a future project, but for now we'll just go with the Wi-Fi. That should be fine. All right, got everything mounted to the wall. You can see that speed 1 is running right now. I got my chlorinator plugged into that outlet. It's a Circupool RJ-45. Again, links to all this stuff in the description. Wiring's a little bit of a mess. I didn't want to shorten that expensive cable in case I ever decide to move anything. Didn't want to drop all that money again, but got it coiled up there. It's not going to drip anywhere. Got it plugged into an outlet down there. Got the pump control cable going into the side right there. And it works. All right, I think we're ready for a demo. So I have the pump running in speed 1 right now. Hopefully you can see those 2 relay lights on. Top one, the second one down. That's the top one's for the chlorinator, second one's for speed 1. Let's go into the app. Let's change the speed from 1 to 2. I don't know if you heard, but the pump decreased in speed. And now you see the second relay light went out and the third one went on. And now let's turn the whole thing off. I'll just go to off in the app and it's off. So let's simulate a power failure too, because that's a realistic scenario that could happen. So let me kill the power to this outlet to simulate a power failure. I do have some logic built into the device that should allow it to restore to whatever state it should be in. Okay, I'm about to kill power to it. All right, so everything just went off as it should. I can turn the power back on. Okay, power is back on. Now it should take a moment for the device to boot up and connect to Home Assistant. And it should take another deliberately 10 to 15 seconds before it restores power to everything. I did that just in case there's any weird like transient spikes in the power. I don't want the pump going on and off and on and off and on. So this is like an artificial delay in case something bad has happened. So any moment it should come back on, the chlorinator should come on and speed 1 should come on. And there we go. And now the pump is running. As you can see. So again, here is the final product mounted to the wall. Not too much to it, pretty easy to do, didn't cost a whole lot of money. And again, links to all this equipment will be in the description. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Oh, and I should credit what I did here to some research I found online. So in the Home Assistant forums, there are folks that have done something similar to this before, so I'm not, an original thinker here. I haven't found anybody that's used these exact components, and I certainly built my own automations, though they are loosely based off of what is also on that forum post. So certainly credit to where credit is due. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Take care.